Ahoy there and welcome back to Building the Boys. We now have issue 130. Can you believe that? 130 of Hachette's Build the Titanic. So after this one, we only got 10 left of the main build because we spoke on the last one. We're still going. Now, since we've had that conversation, it has been confirmed by Hachette that everyone's getting it. So whether in the UK or wherever you are, it's being rolled out everywhere. So the UK is doing it, so we are going to keep going. So you got me for another year. You lucky people. So yeah, after this one, after issue 130, we've got 10 more of the main build. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a gap or anything between... Well, no, I don't think there is. So what's actually happening is, I'm talking nonsense. We're due to get the final four this week. So the final four are going to turn up this week of the main build. But in that pack is going to be the first parts of the engine build, the separate engine build. If you don't want to do it, contact them and say, I would like to stop at 140. And that's it. You don't have to buy anymore. That's it. It ends. But they're sending it free. So issue 141 is coming free. So you at least get to look at the parts, have a bit of a play with it. And it's free. It's free. So in this one, you know what, before we, I know you've got something. Before we get going, I would like to address something. Because not only are we doing this today, not only are we at a very landmark point here, but somebody else arrived at a landmark point. Our friends of the channel and viewers of this, and I know they're watching, that are today celebrating their 38th wedding anniversary. Wowzers! And that is, that's a serious sight, but it's this good-looking couple right here on their happy day. Take a look at them. Don't they look like Love's Young Dream? That is Alan and Amanda Palmer, friends of mine and friends of the channel. Massive congratulations on 38 years. That's a remarkable achievement. And I will say it, gentlemen, if you're watching, marriage is not just a word. It's a sentence. Congratulations to you both. A wonderful couple they really are. Back to the Titanic. So without further ado, what we're going to do is going to get this one open. Now he lulled me into a false sense of security. So the last one, the last crane, I was like, way! And then this one, I was like, no! Look, I'll show you this. This one, look at the name. The first bow crane. I'm like, no, we were done! So, we've got another crane. So again, I'm not building the crane on camera. I'm going to build it off camera. The last time I did this, I broke one. But yeah, I'm going to build the crane off camera. I'll show you where it goes on the actual bow. And then after that, we do have some bits and pieces to add to the bow as well. So we're adding some of the kind of embellishments. So we're adding, let's have a look, all kinds of things. Brackets, benches, bollards, secondary anchor, all kinds of bits and pieces, all that good stuff. So I'm going to get this all open. I'm going to get the crane built. And then when we catch back up, I'm going to show you where the crane goes on the bow. Because again, I've built so many cranes. I've built like 4 of them on the channel. You don't need to see me build the crane. You know how to do the crane. So, yeah, that's where we are. Get this one open. Let's get this one built. Okay, it's taken our forecastle, which we haven't made in, well, we haven't touched in what feels like ever. We're going to take the crane we've just made, and for the record, I absolutely hate making cranes. Can't stand it. I hate it. Hate's a strong word, but it suits my cranes because I hate them. I absolutely hate them. But it's what it is. Now we're going to attach this in place with 2 AP screws. So we're going to get these 2 ready. There we go. AP screws. So we're going to load one of these up. And then this crane here, to position this correctly. So we should have see already, one of the pins has popped out. Oh, bloody thing. So that's fine, we'll sort that later on. It's just a pin. For now, it's got popped back in its place. So we're going to put that on there as a thin lug and a fat lug. So it's only going to go one way round. We're going to pop that in there like so. And then we're going to flip this one over. And we'll screw it into here with 2 of the AP screws. I hate cranes, man. Hate them. And I can already see, guess what we're doing next? Crane, another crane, another crane. Which I'm hoping is the last crane, but I don't reckon it is. I reckon they'll bring another crane on us somewhere. Bloody hope not. But I feel they might. That's a really tight screw. Guess that one. Nowhere near in yet, but good enough. I'm going to pick this one up and get these in because these are really, really, really tight. Because they're the wrong bleeding screws. I'm keeping that in. See, I make mistakes, man. I make mistakes. I've just put in AM bloody screws. That's why they won't screw in. That's why they're so tight. It's the wrong screw. Completely the wrong screw. It's professional YouTuber Scott there. When I say professional, it's not they're paying me. Right, AP screws. Let's try that again, shall we? Try that again with the old APs. Which should now go in without problem. Hey, what can I say? It's late in the day, and I'm really not very well, but that's what it is. There we go. And those going nice and easy. I'm so glad I didn't force those. Bloody hell. Right, so that's 1 AP, and this is 2 APs. There we go. So those are both in. Now when we turn this one over, see this bloody thing's come off already. It's all right. We'll put that back in. That's our screw. That's our and that one. Yeah, bloody thing. But that is our crane in place. I'll sort the wire in a bit. But that's our crane in place. That's that one done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move to the bow of the ship. We're going to be adding some detail into it. Okay. Now moving to the bow of the ship, we've got a lot of holes on here. So you can see we've got these here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these 4 here. So the 1 bench, 2 bench, 3 bench, 4 bench, then 5 bench, 6 bench, 7 bench, 8 bench. We're putting in 8 benches in total. Now again, you've seen me glue benches in before. Do you really want to watch me glue 8 benches in? I don't think you do. But what we're going to do is we're going to add a little glue to these, and the benches are going to sit in like so. So that's where they're going to go. Let's get another one in. These aren't glued. These got no glue on them at all at this point. But here are how our benches are going to go. So go and sit in there like so and so. 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 there. So what I'm going to do is get the glue. If you are interested, I am using, to me, an extra thin to apply these. That's what I'll go in on to here, and I'll show you that one. That's this one here. If you are going to use it, be aware it is extra thin, and it is bloody pungent. So, so be aware. But I swear by it. It's thin. It means I don't have loads of glue build up, and that's the way it is. It's what I like to use. You don't have to use it. It's what I like to use. But I'm going to get these glued in, then we'll take a look what the 8 benches look like. So there we have it. Those are our 8 benches put in. Nice and simple. Now we have bollards, which go on next, which are these here, and I have another one. Which is this one here. This is going to, quite simply, right, there we are. Yep, either side. Now, I don't know if they've... No, lugs are both the same either side, so it doesn't matter which way around this goes. By the looks of things, that one's going to sit in there like so. And that one's going to sit in there like so. Now, those feel a little loose. And I got some glue to them. I might add some glue to them later, but I think for now... Like I said, I never planned on turning the model upside down, so those aren't going to go anywhere. Those are absolutely fine, but I think I might touch a little glue to them. The next thing we have to do is an anchor. So we have the anchor here. Same again, I'm going to see how this fits without glue before automatically grabbing the glue. So we're going to go in here like so. Which holes is this one going into? Yeah. So this hole there, there's 2 holes there. It's the top one of the 2. Just going to push down onto there like so. So it's our anchor in place. And now the next thing we have are the pegs. They're just calling them the pegs, which is quite unglorious, but that's what they're calling them. And where are we going to go with our pegs? So 2 of them are going to go here. So again, we'll see how they fit first before we auto glue these. 1 and 2. Very nice goldy sort of bronze effect on these. Yeah, they're not going to go anywhere. That's those 2 in. And then the next 2 are going to go in between these here. So we're going to have 1 in there like so. You will go in. There you go, one there. And then another one opposite. There we go. So there's a lot more detail added to this now. So it's looking nice. It's looking good. So there we go. There's our anchors and bollards there. You can see how many gaps are on here. There is still so much to go onto this stern. A lot more to go onto this stern. Every gap there, every hole there. I mean, I can already see that's going to be more benches. So there's at least another, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least another 8 benches going on here. More than that. I think there's another 10 going on at least, if not more. A lot of benches. This was the main kind of seating area and whatnot. So there's a lot of outside seating areas. So there's a lot to go on here still. But it's looking nice. It's looking really nice. Let's have a chat. So that's that one done. Now I think this is going to be pretty much the theme for these. There wasn't loads to do in that. And I think that's going to be, to a degree, where we're going. Because for the simple reason that as we're coming this close to the end now, so I'm just cleaning off my spatulas. As we're coming to the end now, it's just going to be the fine detailing. The large things, everything large is built. So, you know, funnels are built. So there will be little cranes and things like that. And obviously we'll do some detailing. We're going to have to start drilling some holes soon as well. So there's a pin vise coming up, which I don't think is that big a problem. Don't panic about that. We'll get through it. I think that's where we're going to be. It's going to be adding the detailing, adding the fine detailing. So there's a lot of that work's going to happen now. Now, I know we have got photo etch parts coming up as well. So again, it's going to be that. When you get to photo etch, I'm not a fan of photo etch, right? It looks good, but it is not forgiving. Right? It really is not forgiving. So honestly, take your time. And when you think you're going as slow as you can go, slow down. That would be my advice when it comes to just take your time with bending and whatnot, because you go ham-fisted with photo etch, you'll just snap it and it's done. So take your time when it comes to photo etch. Take your time. That's my advice. We're not there yet, but we're there soon. If you are just sticking around for the build instructions, thank you for stopping by. If you are sticking around for our Titanic talk, because we do Titanic talks, we are talking about Neptune's Revenge. What's Neptune's Revenge? Well, Neptune's Revenge is an odd story, and it involves a beluga whale. Actually, it involves 3 beluga whales. If you don't know what a beluga whale is, it's this. Cute, right? So beluga whales, beluga caviar, that's where they come from. So what has that got to do with the Titanic? What's Neptune's Revenge? Well, this goes back to the very strange story of Albert Stewart, also known as the Cincinnati Whale Man. This story is nuts, but it's true. So in 1877, a good, nearly 50 years before Titanic set on a maiden voyage, Albert Stewart decided that he worked in insurance, that he was going to be in show business. It's simpler times. I mean, you literally could just, you know what, I'm going to be a showman. And that's how it worked back then. So he decides he's going to be in show business. That's what he's going to do. So he needs a big attraction. So it's going to be Albert's, Wales. And it's like, Wales? Cincinnati, whether you know America or not, Cincinnati doesn't have whales, right? That's something it certainly doesn't have. So he decides he's going to get a beluga whale and display it to the public. What could possibly go wrong? So Albert builds a 30-foot wide tank that's 10 foot deep. Huge. It's like a 180,000 gallon tank, right? However, I know you're already thinking 10 foot deep doesn't seem deep enough for a whale. It's not. So Albert scores a beluga whale that's nowhere near Cincinnati. So he has to transport the beluga whale from the coast to Cincinnati, where he's going to put it into the tank. And he decides to do this by train. Because, if you're going to transport a whale, train, it would be the first thing that would spring to mind, wouldn't it? So, Jesus Christ. They put this whale into a very small tank, which they load onto the train. And it's going to take about 6 days for the whale to get there. The whale dies after 3 days. So sadly, the beluga whale dies after 3 days. Because he's been sloshing about and bagging around in a very small tank of what would have been mainly its own urine at that point, because, it's it's a beluga whale, and you've got it in this tiny tank of water, and that's what happened. So, not being one to be defeated, Albert decided, you know what? The whale is money. I've told people a whale's coming. I'm getting a whale. So Albert sources a second whale, and he transports that one by train, but this time bigger tank. And the whale successfully makes it to Cincinnati, where Albert displays it in his tank, in his custom-built tank. And in the first week, loads of people come to see the whale. And after its first 6 days, the whale dies. And the reason why the whale dies is because beluga whales live mainly on a diet of eel. Do you know what else Cincinnati doesn't have? Eel. So Albert didn't think to source eel. Instead he got minnows, which just weren't sufficient for the whale. So the whale actually died of starvation. That's what killed whale number 2. Whale number 2 died of starvation. When they opened it up in an autopsy, because this whale number 2 was displayed in the Natural History Museum. When they opened up the whale's stomach was empty. There was nothing in it. And it's like, Jesus Christ, Albert. You'd think he'd learn, but no, he didn't. So whale number 3 is sourced and is covered. So this is the third beluga whale now in the space of like a month. So the third beluga whale is now traveling up the tracks. It goes into his custom-built tank, and this whale does last a little longer. This whale lasts a whopping 2 weeks, but it's starting to look a bit peaky, and people think that the whale is enjoying itself and is having fun. This is an outdoor tank. What people didn't mention is you have to refresh the water every 24 hours, right? Because there's no filtration systems. This is a cement pit is what it is that he's got this thing in. So you need to change the water every 24 hours. You just do. Albert doesn't do that. So our whale's getting sick is what's happening. A storm happens. And the whale starts thrashing around because a beluga whale's natural instinct is to dive. When there's a storm and bad weather, a beluga whale will dive until it passes. It can't do that because you're going to dive down 10 feet. Albert gets wind of this and comes running, and by all reports that seen it, Albert jumps into the tank. Well, I don't know what he's going to do, but Albert jumps into the tank and he's kind of hugging and comforting the whale. That's what people say. I think what Albert's actually doing is cuddling and probably praying that his investment doesn't die on him again. But it does. They said this thing was just in kind of like mud. Albert's trying to wipe kind of like the algae and the mud off it because he's not been changing the water. And the whale dies. So they don't know what the whale's died of. But when they do an autopsy, surprise, surprise, the whale's stomach is empty. There's maybe a handful of minnow in its stomach. But also, rather bizarrely, at the bottom of a pint mug. It's the bottom of a glass pint mug that somebody's obviously dropped into the tank, which gives you an idea of what was going on with this whale, is in the bottom of the whale's stomach. A lot of people now protesting. And this is a time when animal rights were nowhere near where they are now. And this is a time with dancing bears, and animals being chained up and whipped and God knows what else. But people are like, this guy needs to stop killing whales, man. This ain't right. So even the general consensus was this can't keep going. So Albert kind of finally concedes and decides he's not going to get any more whales. Albert ends up on the Titanic, and he is lost to the depths. And at the time, the people of Cincinnati reported it as Neptune's revenge. That Albert Stewart had died as a result of Neptune's revenge because of the way he treated those sea creatures. Now, maybe that's true. I don't think it is, for the simple reason that I don't think Neptune would take down everyone just to get to Albert. But that's what it was known as. So no sympathy was really given for Albert when he died and was lost to Davy Jones' locker. It was seen as apt. It was seen as appropriate. No sympathy was given. It was seen as very appropriate for Albert's penance. I don't think anyone deserves to die, but you can kind of see the irony of somebody that's basically caught, tortured, inadvertently but tortured, and ultimately killed 3 fairly majestic creatures. There's an irony that he then sinks to the depths, but that's what happened, and that is the strange tale of the Titanic and Neptune's revenge. That is all for this. We'll be back incredibly soon with issue 131 because we've only got 10 left to go. That's it, 10 left to go, and then we're done. Of that 10, I've got 6 of them here, so we can go up to another 6. I will bring them to you as soon as possible. I know you're trumping a bit, where are they, where are they, where are they? And I'm doing everything I can do. They're coming, I promise you. So there'll be a lot more frequency with what we're doing. Thanks for stopping by. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. You can contact us at buildingboys@outlook.com with any questions, queries, or anything you want to show us. We'd love to hear from you. Take care, and I'll see you very, very soon for more from the Titanic. Bye-bye.